are doing Orontea in the Baroque Festival of Innsbruck. Orontea by Cesti, so one of the masterpieces of the 17th century.
It's very different from Monteverdi. It's very different from Handel. He lives in this middle zone, and it's very clear to see the development from the early 17th century to the beginning of the sort of middle Baroque. The plot is completely delicious in that it's all the characters have love interests. Sometimes the love interests work, so some people get together, some people choose the right lover, some people choose the wrong lover.
It is like a soap opera, a Baroque soap opera, because all the characters love each other, hate each other, make love each other. Under many points of view, it's quite a modern piece because it's speaking about human nature and its fragility.
Originally it was meant to be a young artist program where they get to perform, and just before, the year before it started, I was discussing with Alessandro De Marchi, the music director here. We were actually talking about voice lessons, and I said, you know, I think a problem with voice lessons is that it's hierarchy. I mean, the teacher is basically sitting down and saying no, or do this or do this. And he said, and when I played the trumpet, I used to go in sometimes and we just spend an hour playing duets. I said, the teacher needs to play, sometimes. And then he said, good, let's put you in the show.
Young singers, of course, give you a lot of energy. It's beautiful to work with them because they don't save one single drop of energy. They just throw themselves on stage like mad. So the difficulty is to combine their physicality with the vocal technique, so the way to breathe. Also, if I'm asking them to do horrible things on stage.
Well, I think the thing about youth is that everything's possible. You can offer as many ideas as you have, and they invariably take on as much as they possibly can. It then becomes my responsibility to make sure that we filter out the ideas that don't quite work so well, and we then streamline the best stuff.
I'm Orontea. It's a really interesting and complex character because she thinks to believe, to know what is love, but really she doesn't know. The fact is that when she really feels something that seems to be love, she really gets totally made and she really loses totally the control of herself, of her life, of her power.
So Cesti was writing in the middle of the 17th century. What we've learned is that he is a fantastic dramaturg. Every line that he writes is very clearly painting the character's emotion and how the character is reacting with another character. My favourite part of any production period actually is right at the beginning, when everything's an option, when we're sort of discovering the score and the libretto all together.
Can you keep the energy down as you come down the scale? Okay. I sometimes find the energy dips, but it just needs to, if anything, it needs to intensify.
It's really nice to discover how different sounds a different group can create, because every group has its own way of playing this music that is really free. You have a lot of freedom of creating effects and stuff, so it's really nice.
I really enjoy very much to work with David Bates, also if of course my Italian fire sometimes match with his English politeness, so it could be a good salad of different ingredients that make the salad quite spicy.
The whole cast bring a beautiful freshness and sort of raw truth to their roles. It's really wonderful.
Well, prior to coming here in Innsbruck, I didn't know that there would be a solo violin aria, and as well as a possibility of playing on stage, which meant learning the piece by heart. So it just means that apart from learning the music, that's just one aspect of it. You have to then feel fairly confident to be on stage, to maybe interact with the singer, which of course is much more enjoyable to see for the audience point of view if you do interact rather than just sort of stand and play it as a concert performance, which it isn't.
This production has had a few challenges, for example, playing outside, which is obviously happens every year in Innsbruck, but with gut strings, for example, such as on this file, that poses certain problems. The space where we're playing is a lovely acoustic, but it is also quite difficult to hear the singers, for example, so there's a lot of trust needed between the players and the director.
Beautiful cast. I have my wonderful musicians of La Nuova Musica with me. It's been a real treat.
If the energy on stage is good, if the music is good, if the singers and possibly also my work seduce the audience maybe forget where they are and fly with us. I hope so.